Okay, and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Field Glory Empires as Persia. Leaving off last time, we were at war with Lydia. It looks like we have one more territory of theirs to take on the mainland, and they do have roads. I don't know if roads will defect to me. I don't know if I need to be adjacent to them or not. From defect, it tends to be provinces that are adjacent to you doing the defection. So I don't necessarily know how roads will work. We're basically going to pick up from where we left off. We'll probably finish off Lydia, except for Rhodes. If Rhodes defects to us, then the war will end. And then probably start contemplating doing something with Babylon, though I'm very tempted to take a detour over to Elmas, Yuxia over here in the Elmas province, to take that one territory so that we can have its marble. The coral isn't bad either, though it's right next to another province that has coral, so as far as we're concerned, it probably not trading its coral. We're probably trading our coral, because I don't think we can import from neutral provinces. We're currently not trading coral. Okay. Somewhat surprised about that, but we'll try to make that a little bit more of a thing. Granted, that would only be down here on the coastline, so maybe that's why we're not doing very much of that. And then the marble would be quite valuable. And we're currently importing papyrus. The Mesopotamian delta here has papyrus, so we don't necessarily need to go out of the way to make a papyrus source. There's also papyrus up here. But maybe in the upper regions we may need to go out of our way to make some papyrus. Don't see any regional decisions. The troops look fine. Again, I think we're going to come over here and deal with this one relatively soon. Let's go through the provinces, make sure we don't have empty building slots like we do here in Salamina. And determine what we want to do. Could do the port. It would now eat a slot, so it's maybe not as good to port. We don't need the manpower. I don't necessarily need the ability to build a navy down here. The Indian Ocean side of the two oceans is usually a little bit less important for ocean-going stuff, I find. Probably want to save that for a different province. Could do the brickworks, just try to work towards Tier 3 industry, but I think we'll pass. The cattle can already be imported someplace else. We probably want the farm there. So this is actually probably a reroll. Do a reroll here. Because the port would be the only one that's tempting. And then, of course, we'll divert everyone over to food. Don't think we need everyone in industry. Or do we need like one on industry? Or infrastructure? No, I got a little bit of infrastructure bonus there, so we need to... Okay. That'll help us grow a little bit faster, get us some more building slots, so we have to be less picky. If we weren't being picky, I probably would have taken the port there. Line expansion's great. Oration Tribune's pretty good. Being built in the place where we're having the loyalty issue, so that's probably where we want to build. Could move a little bit from food to industry, but I think we'll be fine as is. That looks fine. Got an open building slot there. Let's upgrade the road. It's being proposed. It's being proposed because the impenetrable forest here is an infrastructure perk. Even though that is something that in the long run we'll want to remove. Regional road. May make sense to go up to Builder Hole. It gives more infrastructure. It's either Builder Hole or Warehouse, obviously. I'm thinking here. This would give us access to Tier 3 buildings, which is the next land expansion. Overall, just increasing the industry in the place. So let's do that. Lots of building slots. signal nearby buddling, but there's ways to move wool around, and 2 food is not worth going on the way for, I think, here. Although, we have the farm, we have the orchard. I probably do want to grab a 3rd agriculture building here to get access to Tier 2. And Shepherd's House is about on par with everything else we could pick up, so we will go ahead and pick that up, given that thought process. I'm not going to pick it up twice, because this is immediately adjacent to the previous one we were evaluating. Tools or Scriptorum. I think we're going to do the tools here. We need a little bit more money, more than we need culture right now. And we're already importing papyrus here from the Precept House. So this saying, oh, it costs 3 money, I don't think this actually is going to cost us 3 money. I think they're already paying for it on that Precept House. And because that is a trade, in theory, that is, well, so as we might be buying Egyptian papyrus there. We can check that. We're getting it from Egypt. No, we're getting it from our place. If we're getting it from our place, then that's fine. It's desired. Okay. And here, I could build a physician house. We're not desperate for the health. I am still on board with probably grabbing. It pops up. Oh no, we've got the ones I want. We've got the Quant. We got the Smokehouse, the Salt House. The only other one I probably want is the Clearwater. Because unlike Greece, where we were wanting to get up to Tier 3 for a Greek culture building, here we're less important. Can import the pottery, so we'll import that. That sounds good. Open building slot. So this place is technically coastal because it's on the lake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'll also probably, once it gets regional roads, be in trade range of Uxia down here. So this would potentially be a good place to put the Thassalan Temple. Although, let's do the Wheelmaker. Let's get that trade range up before we delve in there too much. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Got some capacity to build here. We're looking in particular for the stables. That is not the stables. We're not Sparta, so I am very much on board trying to build some walls out in the border regions. So let's get a wall going. And we have a wall here. Could upgrade the wall here. Yeah, let's upgrade the wall. Public Works, let them continue. We'll probably swap over to making some food after the Public Works there is done. And then 2 building slots here. Could do the theater. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah, let's grab the theater. Do I need that much infrastructure to build it? I don't. Let's move into making some food. So we can get the region growing a bit. Ooh, lots of building slots there. We do need stability. Ooh, it's a big toss-up between the monument and the public works. We're going to go public works. Earlier when we were having culture issues, the monument would have been better. But now that we think we got that under control, at least for the moment, that's less of a rush. We've got no place to import frankincense from, so we'll pass on that. We'll do regional road for the trade range. Also a little bit of money. Let's get the courthouse, some more decadence reductions, nice. There's a 7-volt slot. And we have papyrus nearby, so we'll set that up We'll provide some decadence reduction as well as track papyrus around, generating some money for us. Oops, going to the next province, not the next territory. We do probably want a little bit of food here, or a little bit more than we're making. Okay. So then we're on the loose. And we got a loose there that could do some work. This wouldn't be a bad place to put a stables, I suppose. Don't necessarily know what the provincial is in this place. We can't build it, obviously. There we go. There's a cavalry. It's a medium cavalry. Wouldn't be a bad idea to have stables there. And your idol. You're also the place that just got this is just defected to us. So you're now apparently under siege by the Lydian army. We'll see how well that goes for us. Probably want to upgrade the harbor there. We'll try to mitigate the starvation of the garrison while we can. That's an idol. Fish is something we can't move around, if memory serves. So let's grab some fish. And then that looks good. So let's go ahead and cycle the turn. Get our troops moving. They already have decisions left from the last stream. So they hit the Lydian army there. The rest of the Lydian army appears to have moved off. And yeah, we're still in the progressing tier, so other than trying to maintain loyalty, we really don't need to get more culture to decadence ratio for the moment. Spend metal to gain money or manpower, so we'll sell the metal. You're moving there, that seems fine. We're going to have you start moving towards Babylon as soon as you've overrun that location. These guys are going to merge. And then I want you to move down there. So merge these two up and attack that province. And we're back on the provinces again. At some point, I'm going to want to raise another army. We're working in the mountains, the Alpine mountains up here in particular. One of the provincials over here are mountain specialists that we know from the last run. Yeah, some Galatian infantry here. It's going to take a while to recruit these up. Let's recruit 5 of those up. And then we grab 5 archers, I think. Five provincial archers. So our eastern archers are 6 range attack. The provincial ones here are 8. So they're a little bit better. I think they're functionally the same grand scheme of things for support purposes, but if they get a little bit more likely to, I think, suppress a unit, maybe not use those ones. Yeah, these ones will work. So 8 range attack, so do a little bit more exhaustion on guys to work as the backup to those mountain men that we're building, mountain troops that we're building. No regional decisions for us. Let's get through the provinces, do our pass on the buildings again. So we've grown here, so we now have 2 slots. So I need to be less picky. On the other hand, I'm being presented with a 0 slot. I am going to go and take the 0 slot. We are on a unsecured border here, so a little bit of extra garrison to deal with the raiders will be good. And we have all the infrastructure we need for that already in the infrastructure queue, so that's fine. Next one, 3 open slots. Could do smokehouse. In theory, we have everything we need already for dealing with the raiders, dealing with the midnight raiders. We're just waiting for the 2% chance for them to be dealt with. So we don't need to go out of our way to find something for that. Yeah, let's go smokehouse here. This will provide us food, health, import cattle, which will generate a little bit more revenue for us. Overall, not that bad. 7 building slots. Coming from the place we're occupying, so we could probably do with a little bit of loyalty. We'd take that if we had the wine, we don't. This is not going to be a bad farm, maybe not worth doing right now. Let's work on the salt house instead. Okay. Don't have any cloth import there, so that's not a good choice. I'm going to work on the wheel maker, try to get up to the regional roads. We are in import range for lumber, so we're not going to do that. Fortifications instead. Again, there's ways to move wool around. This is not a place where we can build a farm, so I'm not very interested in building agriculture buildings. Could do the smokehouse, could do the coastal market. If we do the coastal market, we'll have to get fish, which would have to be on the lake, I suppose, at some point to get that to be worthwhile. So I think we're going to pass on the coastal market, at least until we get fish in the area. If we get fish in the area. Not really rich enough to run mercenaries right now, so we're not going to bother. So I think it is the builder's hole, smokehouse here. Let's do the smokehouse. That'll give us a little more revenue as well. By kneading around the cattle. The Tribune, which is loyalty, which might not be lost here. We're at 65 loyalty. Market, we're not in trade range for pottery. We do have pottery places, like the capital has pottery, for example. Training grounds moves the flax around. So we could do that. I think we're gonna go to the salt house. Same sort of reasons for doing the smokehouse. Do have the papyrus bonus here, which makes this pretty nice for the street brawler. I misclicked. I want to click that one. Crafting district wouldn't be too bad. That's 10% commerce. That'll go comboed pretty well with the ceramics, which we want to move around quite a bit. All the regional capitals, because we have the Straffi mechanic, all the regional capitals gain 10 culture from having the ceramics bonus. So if we move the ceramics around, we can get a bunch of culture that way. Oh, lots of blood slots there. Do I want to fortify here? Maybe. Don't think I need to rush to it. I'm going to take the temple, so we're going to upgrade the cult site to a temple. And the reason is the major temple, which is the upgrade, imports the ceramics. We probably are in range as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we wanted to import the coral, but it's going to be ceramics or coral. We can't have both. So we'll do the temple, try to go up in the major temple. So the volcano penalizes food, health, just food and health. Okay. So we don't want to make food here. It wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea to pick up health, because it's such a fine penalty to health. Or we can pick up the street brawler for money culture. We'll do the street brawler for money culture. Go back for the health. That'd be decent. We're gonna import the papyrus. Move that papyrus around a bit. 3 open slots. Would be the worst of things if this was a food slot, I think. Granted, we're up in the mountains, so food's not particularly great up here. That's why we don't have a lot of food. We probably don't actually want it to be kettle, so we probably actually would want it to be salt smoke, but we don't have those right now. Could do fish. Although that's not necessarily a very good fish spot. We'll do the monument because it's a simple 0 slot. Here is the horseback, so that's another stable that we want. We could roll that at any point. Not that it's currently up for rolling. We do have an open build slot. Let's grab the infrastructure bonus. Construction going. Not that we're necessarily tight for it. This is a good place just for conversion because we do need to convert the locals. Public works are still working. Don't need the culture. We are in trade range to import pottery, so let's do that. And 2 slots here. Could use a little bit of loyalty. Again, it's a bit of a shame that we're out of trade range for wine. Furnace wouldn't be too bad. I think furnace is the prerequisite you need for importing copper. For the coin maker in the bank. Yeah, let's pick up the furnace. Maybe not perfect because we're a little short of loyalty, but we can put one guy on culture to fix that. Yeah, temporarily fix that way. This province. So we have Rumor of the Witch. This is one of the few places where I probably do want to build the Fortune Teller. And we do want to probably build a cult site for the conversion bonus. Build the monument here, I think. Yeah. Okay, we've been around, so onto the loose. Nope, that's a loose. Do I want stables here? Don't think so. Only market to move the pottery around a bit. And then no idols. Okay, so that's back to moving troops. Interesting regionals. Selling that. Actually, I probably have the manpower for the army now. Yeah, get some money there. And then we'll cycle the turn. And either I think the last province here is going to defect to us, or we're gonna... Oh, it's not going to defect to us because Lydia has actually gone off into beating into Notaria from Byzantium. Whatever offense is proposing a trade deal. I give you manpower, you give me metal. Fine. I sell displace, I usually do displace. If I'm particularly rich, I might do buy. And province-wise, I do have enough to make a province capital. Let's go ahead and do that. And then those guys are marching together. That looks good. And now we got a lot of build slots to start filling here, at least. No frankincense to import. We're looking for more money, necessarily, than culture. Once we take that interior province, this is not going to be a border province anymore, so I'm a little bit less interested in getting the city walls right away. This will move around the pottery and provides us some money independent from that, so that's probably what we're going to go with there. Could go large quarry, which would boost stone, but we don't need... Well, we're not getting the bonus from marble. And actually, we do have sulfur, so this wouldn't actually be too bad. 6 infrastructure, 1 money. If we find a way to import the marble in, then it'd be an extra 2 money. Okay. I buy that. Capital region. Capital region is probably the place I want to put this. Once we take that territory, we'll have the marble. We'll definitely be in range for that. So that's not a ticking against it. We got silk, we got papyrus. This is probably a place at some point in the future we want to build the luxury anyway. So yeah, this is looking like a good place to put the capital. The official capital of Persia in Persis. Persepolis. Yeah, I think that's basically the city of Persis. Translated. It'll take a while to build. It is a wonder after all, but probably worth building. You also go faster than the stable master, so I could actually... Oh no, you're not the stable master. The stable comes off of the stud, I think. No, it's a military one. It's in the queue there. The possible queue there. Watchtower. Watchtower is the other military one I'm thinking of, which is in the queue. It was possibly a game being built there. But no. We'll the Oratian Tribune in the meantime. We do have another set of raiders going up against the garrison. The garrison should be able to handle the raiders. We're in range to import papyrus, so that is tempting to do. This will also give us access to at least temporarily give us access to tier 2 infrastructure, or tier 2 culture buildings, which are better loyalty buildings. So let's do that. Hope that we can get some of those loyalty buildings fairly early. Open the lot in Arexis. Could do the quarry. And it may make sense to build the quarry up here in the hopes of trying to find a marble in the region. Because the marble vein, I think, is hidden behind the quarry in particular. Which is the building way of getting marble. Yeah, I think we got marble in the other corners of the Empire. This is probably the place to build it. We're going to look fishing for a quarry. Or going fishing for a marble vein behind a quarry. 2 open slots and 1 open slot. Import flax. Oh no, it would be a local flax. It wouldn't be an import. I think I still will go for it. Yeah, we'll do the walls to the palisades. The odd fort here and there. We're not playing Sparta, so I should be a little bit more pro building walls everywhere. We've got... actually have all 6 of the infrastructure buildings at this point that we need. Warehouse is probably, if we were to go for a 7th, that's definitely the one we go for. Because of its percentile bonus. You know, let's pick the warehouse anyway. Let's pick the warehouse anyway. Make that infrastructure province a real strong one. Wax. We don't make wax anywhere. So making wax so we can import it around makes sense. We already have honey that we can import, so we get some money moving the honey here. Sounds great. Got that one selected. Okay, so we're food positive here, which is nice. Salt house will make it even better. We're looking for stables. Didn't get presented stables. Did get presented the wall upgrade, which we'll take. Public works is still going. Did we get a loyalty building? We didn't. We got a culture conversion building, which in a way is a loyalty building in the long run. Converting our culture should lower their rest. Build the monument there. Let's move some of these guys onto structure production, get the infrastructure going a bit better. Now we're on to loose ones. So the newly captured territory is loose, and, well, loose for now. It will be not later. This is we do have a province modifier here that cleared. Well, to be fair, with prospect resources, which is maybe the better way to do it, but we can also do well irrigation canal. So I will just take random food buildings until we can get to tier 2 food, so we can pick up the well. Maybe not the optimal way to deal with that problem, but it's a way. And then you're an isle. The province we're already making. Regional roads are nice. Public works is nice. This is not Babylonia. Babylonia is the next one next to it. This is Caldera. Okay. Could do the smokehouse. We don't instantly need loyalty here, so we're not going to do the noble district. Yeah, let's do the smokehouse. Although this is a place we can do a decent farm. Do the farm then. This is plains. This is a place we can get the farm upgraded all the way into plantation. Plantations are pretty nice. No other idols. No regional stuff I want to drop for the moment. Although we could do, we'll play some Hellenic interlopers. Try to play Athens and Sparta off of each other. Maybe not making enough money for that to be a really smart idea, but we can do it. Okay, garrison was able to deal with rebels. We were able to deal with their garrison and engage their army. Ranged fire. Decent number of exhausted units. In goes the Mortals versus the Lydian Hoplites, which, because we've exhausted them, is going to be a fight that favors us. Although they've got better support bonus, because the regional archers are better than my build everywhere once. Nope. Lydia. Oh, because the army retreated to their province. That makes sense. So we'll have to go back after that province. It'll be fine. Lydia is proposing a subtle peace, probably in a way that we don't want them to. We'll do a counter proposal. I suspect they're not going to give me what I want, which is everything that I occupy. Percent chance of peace. 0. Yeah, then we're saying no. The answer to is there peace is no. Having disposed his most powerful enemies. I don't speak Greek very well. So Twitch chat saying, is that how combat is in this game? It shows the battle, but it's like a dice rolls for the result. And good evening. Good evening to you. Yeah, that's how combat is in Field of Glory Empires. And I believe Field of Glory Medieval as well. Although in Field of Glory Empires, if you want to, there's a way that you could export the game into... I think it's called Field of Glory. One of the other games sort of in the larger genre, which is a tactical skirmish game instead of using an in-game one. I've heard that's not necessarily balanced, because you can definitely win from a losing position, which you totally lose in this game. But you can do that. So we got ourselves a new monarch here. Let's go look at the new monarch. Okay, so the new monarch is better than the old one. That's all I'm going to say. The old one had some negatives. Um, the only positive the old one had was he was a good diplomat. This one's not a good diplomat. We got 5% health, 5% loyalty. I can live with that. No malice is just a weak bonus. Is pretty decent. We'll add a feast to the calendar. Do want to free some slaves. Now we're going to improve slave rights. We're going to pass on that decision. Oh, and of course, most of the treasury just got spent on his royal tomb. Royal tomb. Ah, yeah. So Field of Glory Medieval, I think, is the tactical one for Field of Glory Kingdoms. You don't necessarily need to do all the fights, but it does allow skill to come into it. If you enjoy that, of course. Yeah. Vice versa, the balance is very different. If you're exporting the battles or just doing them in game. Yeah, that is something you do. So we got a Royal Tomb here, which is going to give us some legacy, is going to give us some decadence reduction, at least as long as it stays one. They tend to have a bad habit of being looted. Go after the Lydian Field Army. Next turn, these two will be merged up. That's good. We took it, and then it was liberated, which is fine. Oh, we got a bolster colony. Where can we get a bolster colony off? Probably want it up on the border up here. And that's basically where it's telling me we would have to go. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, let's do it there. Then we'll go right to the provinces again. So that construction's going well. Working on the wonder there. Got a new person here, so we got some more to pick from. If we want to roll the armor. We did roll the armor, so that's a good find. What's the provincial cavalry here? The median cavalry. Yeah, Median light cavalry. Okay, so this is actually a decent place probably to build the castrum. Sure. Can import the olive oil here, which probably would be good for importing olive oil. Although we got a lot of infrastructure here, I'm tempted to do the builder hole just for the percentile infrastructure bonus. Yeah, let's go that way. Let's double down on infrastructure up here in the mountains. Don't need wool. I think we're gonna pass. Here I think I'm going for a reroll. Although, yeah, we'll go for the reroll. We'll come back at some point later for the, or what? We got 3 build slots. Okay, never mind. Let's build the wall. Make it a little bit harder for the territory to fall to bandits and stuff. Similar logic here. Let's, I could try to reroll into the land expansion. I'm really thinking about it. Yeah, let's try to reroll into the land expansion. Got 2 build slots here. Let's do the builder's hole while we're waiting for land expansion and such. So we can do another Potter. We're so close enough to the capital that we're probably better off importing it with a market, which we could roll as well. We'll do the salt house here so we import some salt. Grab the theater here. so that we can get access to the tier 2 culture buildings. Could do the furnace. Furnace for fishing for the copper works. It's not going to be on the list. I don't know why I'm looking at the list to see if I can find it in the list. It's not going to be on the list because I need the furnace to get the building as an option. A couple of different choices. Tempted to do the wheelmaker because that will give us access to the regional road upgrade and the land expansion. You know, sold myself on that. A lot of good 0 slots there as well. Oops. Shift. Yeah, shift, go back. Definitely don't need all those people working on infrastructure when we don't have anything to build. Get them back onto food making so they grow population quicker. Pick up the salt house. It is a local good, so that's a little bit less of a rush. On the other hand, I think you're a hill terrain. Yeah, so we're not going to get particularly great agriculture buildings there. Which makes this all house a better agriculture building than most of the agriculture buildings we can get. We got commerce buildings, so there's only 2 people living here. We've got the bolster colony here, which is going to bring 2 more people in, bring in a shepherd's house, and bring in the palisades. So let's not build the palisades. You know, we'll build the quant. I'll help a little bit with health and food. It's not very efficient for health, but it's a 0 slot, so, or not very efficient for food, but it is a 0 slot, so it's not anything to really stick your nose at. Public Works. We probably don't need that much infrastructure on Public Works. We really only need to get another 16 infrastructure made in the entire province to finish that up. Those Public Works finish. Do I still need the... I don't need you on culture anymore, so we can take you off. And then, yeah, we don't need the infrastructure because we're not building anything. But encourage some growth. Yeah, that would be a decent reason to get Shepherd's house here. Could also do the coastal market. This is a major coast where I'm going to build ports and stuff, so getting a fishing shop or fishery to get the coastal market better is not a bad idea. Yeah, let's go up that route. Could move a little bit on food to infrastructure. Get some construction going a little bit faster. This is one of our newer provinces, so situation's a little bit tedious here. Strenuous here. Obviously, we're going to need to make pottery out here in the west. We're out of the range. I think the only place we're making pottery right now is the capital. So that's why we don't want to build this, because we don't have pottery. Not really interested there. Already building you someplace else near National Wonder, so you can only build it once. We don't have any place in the west here where we can get horses from, so we should grab a stud. They're going to move some food over to infrastructure to get the buildings building faster. That's probably about right. We want some food in the region because we have the army moving through. And then we're on to the loose. Like you. We don't produce olive oil in the region, so that wouldn't be a bad idea. You want a weapons depot. Is something we can roll. The Caspian Sea is probably worth having capacity to build navy on, even if we're not necessarily thinking too much about building some there. Okay, check the regionals. Let's move the turn. Let's see. Okay, we have successfully destroyed the Lydian Continental Army at this point. Although this is maybe not a very good fight, so maybe we lost this fight. We got 9 going against, or 5 going against 9, so this is going to be very dependent on the roll, although we do have a fairly decent roll there. Yeah, we lost. Not badly enough to have the unit destroyed, which is good. Stalemate of Lydian Hoplites. Destroyed the right flank. The center's holding up and not performing super well. We deleted the left. So that's counted as a combat victory. So we pursue them, although not doing very much damage in the forest here. And they've lost their continental presence. Going to reform citizen rights to lower age. Not that our age is doing anything right now. And then we'll free the slaves. Okay, so at this point, don't want to jinx Lydia having a... Although we've got a boat. We've got a boat. We could literally go see if they got a navy. Because that would win the war and end everything with Lydia. Which is tempting. We do have a mission to defeat Babylon completely within 17 turns. That might be a little hard to do if we can't free that army up to attack Babylon. Got a decent army there, or a decent general there. And you have a decent general, even though that one's more defensive oriented. Province is fine. This province doesn't use many working infrastructure anymore. Lots of building slots in the Lydian province that we're occupying. Let's pick up the theater so we can get access to tier 2 culture buildings, in case we need to get loyalty buildings. The tier 2 ones are better than the tier 1 ones. A lot of the tier 1s are like 4s, 5s, and 6s. The tier 2s are like 16, 14. Which is a lot better from a loyalty perspective. Building an agriculture building, the orchard is probably one of the better ones in this area. Yeah, let's do that. The crafting district isn't going to be particularly great here. It may make it difficult to roll what I want later on. Though I suppose if that's the case, I'm not really concerned about it. I can just delete the crafting district, so we'll build the crafting district. And we'll build the Tribune. We can always convert the Tribune to the courthouse at some point in the future. Could grab the quarry here. Let's grab the quarry here. Gives us a few more places we can be rolling for marble. Build the mine. Also gives us 3 infrastructure buildings so we can get the public up to regional and be searching for land expansion. Maybe we don't need that much on infrastructure anymore. Yeah, we don't. We just need the place to be positive infrastructure. Okay. Open slot there. The volcano is providing a food penalty. And, well, it might be worth trying to build health buildings anyway, but we're not actually necessarily looking for food here. Because there's no way to remove the volcano. Yeah, let's build the... Well, I'm still going to build the soul house. The health will be good. The food's going to be a bit weak. It's weaker than the normal soul house. 2 building slots there. We actually grew twice on the last turn, I suppose. Yeah, the healthcare gave us an extra growth, so we actually grew twice. That's a decent trading tent. Thinking either trading tent or smokehouse. Let's go to the smokehouse so we can get a little bit more growth. Sort of double down on the growth there. Seeing as that's a region that is, to keep building it, I need to grow. We got a build slot there. You're looking for stables. We'll take the 0 slot in the meantime. And then build an infrastructure. Should we get the thing done? There we go. Finishing the turn. That's the border region, so a little bit of extra defense for the moment won't hurt. You haven't grown there yet. Needs nuts and seeds. It can import them. It's not a local good, so it would move the nuts and seeds around. Doesn't have any of the adjacency bonuses for honey, dates, or figs. They are in the region, so I could need them to a neighboring location if we really wanted to go this way. Although this has a decadence cost, so we probably don't want to build this. You don't want to build this without any of the bonuses. The worship place. I think this is a situation where I'm just going straight for the reroll. With changes in the region, we don't need the loyalty bonus anymore, so we can move these guys off. Culture. Regional roads are nice. We go to the training ground. Moving the flax around is not bad. And it's a 0 slot. For the third agriculture building, I either probably want to take the orchard or the farm. So that's not the food building we want. One would be expensive. It's decent health, and if we get some food here, it'd be balls of food. Yeah, let's build the quant. It'll be a bit slow to build, but that's fine. No pottery arranged import. That'll be decent training grounds, so that's not a complaint there. Our heavy infantry that we've been built, our heavy mounted infantry hasn't been built yet. It's gonna take 4 more turns at the current rate. Although we can probably bring the archers over to go with them. Okay, nothing to do there unless we're gonna move people to infrastructure. For the moment, we're feeding the army, so let's not do that. Province-wise, we do control 3 of 5 territories in the province, so we can make the province at a 4, a 7, and a 6. We'll put the capital in the 7 then. You're an idol. You're looking specifically for Weapon Depot, if you can find it. Weapon Depot, to be fair, happens to go pretty well with the wall. Do you want to try re-rolling into it? That's the question. Now we'll put the wall up anyway. We're idle. Put a coastal fortress in, but I don't think we're going to be competing navally with anyone on that location. Monument for culture, we're not desperate for culture. Hemp is a local good, so building the harbor wouldn't necessarily generate any more revenue for us. Although it's generating manpower, is what it's basically telling us. And giving us some troops and stuff. And well is usually not that bad. We'll do well. And that's all the idols. I don't think we got any good regionals. I haven't played already. Could do some more Hellenic interloper, try to make Athens and Sparta fight. Although they might already be fighting. Wouldn't be surprised if they were. Yeah, they were already fighting. I don't need to piss them off against each other. They're already pissed at each other. Oop, rebels. That's not good. So this is the Iranian independence in the hills here. Which are quite scary. Got a good exhausted front line from the amount of ranged combat we brought. We got 5-5. We get an extra dice roll, so I think we're going to win this. Yeah. Oh, the garrison held. That's good to see. Lydia's proposing peace. Yeah, we're gonna have peace, just not the peace you want. Go to Atto. Don't think we're going to Atto. Oh, actually, that's surprisingly close. Usually they send you off to the middle of nowhere. Atta apparently is one we could go to. One of two conditions must be completed. Naval unit in Mergostrom, or yeah. So I think we can actually do that one. That's the Mergostrom. We do even have a naval unit, so we just go there. Change our recruitment policy. Spend metal. Build a harbor, or build up one of the harbors. Let's build that one up. Performance of citizen rights. Reminding me that I've got 16 turns to take over Babylon. Got surplus manpower, so we'll turn them into money. And we got surplus metal, so we turned it into money as well. Okay. So, do you have a fleet? You don't have a fleet. Or if you do, I'm about to have a really bad day with the troops in the ocean, but in theory, they're affected by fog war like I am, so they probably don't see us coming. Our one boat is telling us that they have no fleet in their cap, or in what's left of them, and that army will arrive in what's left of them this turn. Okay, so it looks like Babylon has achieved peace with Egypt. So when we go to war with Babylon, we will have to fight for everything. Which is probably fine. That means we don't have to go to war with Egypt for this place, for example. This is pretty good. We get the Ishtar Gates here, the Hanging Gardens, which are real nice legacy for us. That's actually not a bad place to put a farm. Let's put the farm in. Apparently that's even a place we can get up to the large farm. Don't think we can do plantation there, but large farm we apparently allowed to. Do the bronze works. We're really more interested in copper works. Although we could move tin around with this. We'll hold off for a moment. We will take the training ground. That will fish out all 6 of the military buildings we need to get access to Tier 3 military, which has the coveted, or at least coveted to me, military academy in it. clear the severe avalanches, we do need a Builder's Guild. Builder's Guild is Tier 3 infrastructure, so we need to build the infrastructure up there a lot. Here, we'll go for a little bit more border defense. And then we obviously need infrastructure to build this stuff. And we make enough food that we can have everyone move over to infrastructure. We'll get the training ground and the guard tower done in one turn, then we take an extra. Can put a mine here. The mines are always local goods, because you need the local good to build them, so they're not actually, even though they need the resource. Needing a local good doesn't really do anything for you trade-wise, I think. Could build the anchorage. That gives us a little more siege resist on the fortifications here. Don't need the fortune teller. Yeah, let's build the anchorage. And we're in papyrus import range, so we'll do that. Get the papyrus in the region. Again, we're in papyrus range, so I can bring the papyrus in that way. No, we'll do the wall upgrade instead. Land expansion, always nice. Some degree I'm frequently building towards it because it's so nice. That should give us some population to build with next time. Next turn. Pick up the well. Get some more food. We're already building that somewhere, so that doesn't make sense to build. So the clothing manufacturer makes clothes, right? So it's money-making building, not a item-making building. And it actually needs cloth. Which isn't the possible build possibilities, right? So that's the spinning mill makes cloth. Could do stables. I think we'll pass on the stables. I think we'll actually just do a reroll here. Or papyrus. The people we had on food back to infrastructure so we can actually build the buildings quicker. Okay, they're only going to build at that point, so we'll move on to next. Next. Pick up the Oral, or can what? Did we have Weapons Depot available? We don't even have enough people in the region to build a Weapons Depot, okay. So I'm tempted to build the Stonecutter because we're getting more culture off it because of the marble adjacency, but we'll do the Smokehouse for the food. Food and health. Watchtower will work. It's not what the stables are looking for, but it'll work. Okay, Watchtower will be done in a turn. We did finish that first public works, so we do have a lot more infrastructure at this point, so we can move over to food, at least partially. Okay, so I'm either build or produce net food. Go back to building then. Do you already have you queued to upgrade the port? I think I did queue that. No, I picked that one. Okay. So then let's actually build the port there. Port upgrade. So we'll take the major harbor here. The doesn't really change much. There's a little bit more money, a little bit more manpower. I think it also gives us access to large warships. Or the larger warships. Gonna go the wheelmaker here. This will allow us to build regional and land clearing. And line expansion, which is the importer to lumber. So this is helping us move our lumber around. Although I think I only have like one place that makes lumber right now. I'll have to be a little bit careful with the land clearing for the moment. Okay, so that makes the place food positive. Now we're onto the loose. I'm actually not surprised if we have not that many. We have one loose one. This is a... Oh, this would be a good place if we were in coral range. I'm surprised we don't have coral. Corals are pretty common. Coastal good. We do have access to purple in this area. I guess the closest coral is... No, that's purple again. Apparently the closest coral is over here. Okay. So we don't have access to coral. Okay, skip that for the moment then. Brickworks. Coastal market. We'll be getting the most from fish. Just making that decent. No, let's go Salt House. And then, oh, and we got that one that's idle. Could do Scriptorum. Papyrus is local here, so it's less of a bonus. Yep, I think the culture is still strong enough on that, and we'll go that way. Okay. So before I play too much more, we're about an hour in. If you're watching on YouTube, there will be another part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, I'm going to take a short break to stretch the legs and sip a little bit of tea, and then we're going to go record the next part. I'm not going to bring the stream down in between parts here. As is the case with most streams, we're going to go record 4 parts. I have been taken to trying to record about an hour-long parts on these, and I may be slipping into more and more and more in these episodes, to be fair, which is maybe not good, but that's what I've been doing. In the next one, we're probably going to be attacking Babylon, as I suspect when we roll the intern at the beginning of the next part. We'll finish off Lydia. I'm not actually sure if we're going to have enough time to take Babylon. We've got 16 turns to fully occupy them. Although we may, as soon as we're done with Libya, I'm going to just declare on Babylon. I don't think Babylon has a navy, so we should just be able to quickly sail down to here, get the main army engaging their bigger stuff in the west, whereas our lighter army moves westward through them. So that's the upcoming plan. So until the next part, wish you all the best of luck and good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.